be. As youth workers, I'm super curious to know a little bit about Redeemer's vision for reaching teens and families of teenagers in New York City. Would you mind sharing just a little bit?
But only a little bit. And the reason is I don't... Manhattan is a very weird spot, and it's really not like most other cities.
Okay.
It is, it's, besides being very, very large, when I got here, and I think it's still the case, something like 2/3 of all people in Manhattan, at least our part of Manhattan, live by themselves.
Okay, yeah.
It's highly single, it's really single. My own church, when Redeemer had 1,200 people coming, we only had 6 children in it.
Wow.
We only had we had very few married people. Even today, with we are really unusual in that Redeemer has between 5,000 and 6,000 people coming, and 2/3 of them are single. And I've had a number of consultants tell me that there's no other large church like that. Now, in that situation, not only do you have fewer teenagers, you don't have that many teenagers here, as you might think, because you have so many single people without children. But I have to tell you, at least in the early days, teenagers, you might say youth ministry kind of took care of itself. When my kids were teenagers, we didn't have a youth group. What they did was, we found that teenagers in churches do not believe they will ever be the age of their parents. They don't believe it. I mean, technically they do, but they don't.
Sure, yeah.
So when they look at parents, they can't identify with them. But what they do identify with is 23 to 25-year-olds. Those are the kind of people they want to be like them. Now, in the average evangelical church, those people aren't really there. You got teenagers, you got parents and grandparents, but that group is not there. But in the middle of big cities like Redeemer is mainly, at least certainly in the beginning, was almost completely nothing but 20-somethings. So when my kids got into adolescence, they saw all these passionate Christians who were exactly the kind of people they wanted to be.
Wow.
They saw, bright young business people and actors and that sort of thing. And so they hung out, and that was our youth group. We just basically had our teenagers hung out with passionate young single Christians, the kind of people they wanted to be, and the rest is history. We didn't need a youth group for a long, long, long time. And to some degree, we still don't. To some degree, it's just really different in a city or with a church like Redeemer. So I don't know that what I just said actually is of any use to anybody else, because I don't know how transferable it is. But
Sure, yeah.
you asked.
Yeah.
And so it's your fault
I'll take it.
that I just gave you a non-transferable and probably useless answer to your question.
It's very authentic, though. I gotta say,
That's what we did. Our kids would look back and say, thank you for helping us have a vision for a kind of Christianity that got us excited. But it really wasn't through ministry per se targeted to them.
Yeah.
They were just caught up in the ministry as it was. We do have a youth group. We do have youth ministry, but it's still a very big part of how we do business here.
Yeah.
And that is the adolescents see the people out there that they want to be like.
Wow.
And that's not as true, frankly, in suburban ministry,
Yeah.
where the young single people are gone. They're in LA, they're in New York, they're in Seattle, they're working for Amazon or Google or something like that, and they're out of the more traditional suburban places. And the kids very often don't have people, they don't see other Christians that they want to be like.
Wow.
So anyway, that's just, I'm not sure that's what you came to talk to me about, but
No,
there
it
it is.
is. I think it's a great answer, to be honest
Okay.
with you, and it's very special.